Hi, this is JJ from Once Somerville. Thanks so much for being here. It's great to see you. What you're about to enjoy is some special content created just for you by the Once family. We appreciate the time that the artists have given, and we've put a link to their tip jar in the comments below. We've also put a link there to our GoFundMe. This is one of the ways that we're going to get through this time until we can be open and together again. Art and community are our priorities here at Once. We really miss you, and we can't wait until we can all be back together. Until then, this is our way of holding our community close and continuing to make art. So, before you enjoy the show, a couple of notes. The bathrooms are in the back. On the left, no flash photography, and as always, no crowd surfing. Enjoy. We'll see you soon.
It's the talk show, get ready to start your day off right, even though it's live right now. Join us for the convo on the talk show, where the talk show introducing our hosts, ladies and gentlemen, Bethany Van Delft and Carolyn Castiglia.
Yay!
Nick Chambers.
Nick Chambers. Hey, everybody.
Oh, hi. Welcome to the talk show. I'm Bethany Van Delft.
I'm Carolyn Castiglia. Let's get right into it, guys. Nick, what are you wearing right now?
What's your pandemic gear? That's what she means. Like, what's your go-to pandemic gear?
This is my crumpled couture. I threw on a button up because y'all were dressed up and I felt like the dress in my t-shirt. So no iron, baby, all day.
Look fantastic. Go ahead, Bethany.
That's not what you would just throw on.
No.
If you're just no. What would you put? What would you have on right now if we weren't here? If Carolyn wasn't all like queened up in her sequins, what would you be wearing?
Some sort of t-shirt that shouldn't be broadcast to people. old house shirt. Basically, bed style. This is what I just wear. I never leave my bed, and I just wear things that are comfortable.
That's a neighborhood in Brooklyn, right? Bed style.
Bed
style. No, not bed style. Bed style.
I have not been wearing pants the entire pandemic.
Castiglia, you have on sparkles and no pants? That's kind of hot.
Thank you.
That's a little hot.
Party up top, party down below. You know what I mean?
Just party all over.
Yeah.
We're gonna party. Castiglia, did you know that, Nick? It's Castiglia. We just been Castiglia all over the place, and she's just been.
I had to rewrite the lyrics last minute.
I
had a whole bunch of Castiglia rhymes.
Person. She's so chill, right? She's like, don't worry about it. Whatever, you get it out there. Just.
Oh, I love it actually because I love when people talk like this. If you're gonna talk like this, you gotta say Castiglia.
Castiglia.
So, yeah.
Bethany,
what about you? What are you wearing?
I am wearing my Prince shirt.
Yes. Bethany is a huge fan of Prince. If you don't know,
a little bit. Whoa, I was such a huge fan. My computer was like, "Where is he?" Yeah, I'm a little fan. I'm a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Can we talk very briefly about how you met Prince one time?
It was very briefly. I will say, it just amounted to me telling him, spilling my guts on how he saved my life forever and always, and thank you for being created and all that. And then he went, "Do you understand?" And then, like, obviously I don't want to look stupid, right? So I went, "Absolutely." And then he was gone. That was it. He really did just like
here
like a bat. Yeah.
Purple.
I think that's what he did. And he shook my hand. He held my hand, but his sleeve was like dangling like that. So he held my hand. It was like this kind of handhold. Which
he was ready for the pandemic. He knew. He's like, we're not supposed to be touching.
That's why he went someplace sanitized. He's like, I'm not living through this shit. I'm not living through chemtrails, 5G, and yeah, I'm not. Bye. Peace.
Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's the best.
He is.
Nick, have you
More
met
than
any
the best.
celebrities, by the way? Celebrity musicians or anything?
I met Pharrell Williams at a Newberry Comics in Boston.
Wow. What
He
happened?
shook my hand. Huh?
He wouldn't shake your hand?
No. He just gave me a pound, but he shook everyone else's hand in line. I was like, why? Because my hat doesn't fit? I didn't know why. So
He felt threatened. He felt threatened. That's what it was. He's like, yo, this man's got something. I could feel it. He could feel your juju. No, that sounded weird. That's not what I meant.
yeah, Pharrell felt my juju. That's how I'm gonna press it.
Listen, part of the reason why I haven't worn pants during the pandemic is because my pants don't fit as great as they fat before the pandemic. Anybody else eating their way through this? Yeah.
I mean, we have to eat. Eating is good, right? You gotta eat. Yeah.
How many meals have you had in one day? I think the most amount of meals I had in one day was probably 5.
That's 5 meals is good. That's good. That's like breakfast, second breakfast,
Yeah.
lunch, snack, dinner, and a little bit more dinner.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's grazing, right? Isn't that how French people eat?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? That's not 5 meals, that's grazing. Is that
Grazing.
humans are supposed to eat?
I stay home all day. What does you want me to do?
Guys are not supposed to pile on and shove into your face. You're supposed to peek. That's why we're charcuterie. It's like a peek.
Yeah. Petit déjeuner, une allemande. Déjeuner, 2 allemandes.
Ooh, you got the accent.
Thanks. I mean, merci.
Merci. Castiglia can also speak French.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh shit, you guys, wait. Oh my God, it's almost 9:15. I'm so sorry. I have to dip out for a second. I totally forgot. I have a doctor's appointment. It's just weird.
What?
I know. It's like one of those telehealth appointments, and this was the only time. Yeah. So
weird.
Can you guys just hold it down here and I'll be right back?
We'll be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally weird. We'll be here. Yes.
Thank you.
Godspeed.
Okay. I think I'm here. Hello?
Hello. Hi. Hi. I'm so sorry. Give me a moment. I just I'm not good with this technology. Hang on.
Oh, that's okay.
Telehealth is hello. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for keeping this appointment. My name is Dr. Mackenzie Jones Smith.
It's so nice to meet you, Dr. Smith.
Yes, and you as well. So these are very strange times and appointments, but I would like to address any concerns you have. And I see you've made this appointment for,
Well, I feel kind of bad because I didn't expect us to keep this appointment. I actually called, before everything happened, and because I recently got health insurance, and I figured, I have insurance. I'm over 40. I might as well take care of the things that are really important for women.
Sure.
Once you're over 40.
Sure.
And so I just wanted you to check out my fine lines. Just a little bit. It's funny now that we're on this call, I feel like they're almost not even there, but,
can you get just a little bit closer so I can take a look?
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm in a formal gown.
Oh, you look great. You look great.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's see. I'm gonna take a look. Okay.
Is that?
No, you look great. They look really great. But it is a personal preference, and if it's something you'd like to look into treatment.
Well, I don't really want Botox or anything like that. I just, lucky for me, I'm like a little bit chubby, so I kind of come with my own. But I just wondered if I could.
That's what we like to say. We like to call it softig. That's the medical. Oh. That's the medical term. So how about if we get started with
like a cream? That's what I was wondering. Is there like a little?
Yeah, we have all kinds of things. I have creams. I have injectables. I have all kinds of stuff. But let's get through the exam part, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so you're going to need to exam yourself, and I will talk you through it. So no worries about that. First, can you?
I'm so sorry. Before we start, I just wanted to because we're meeting for the first time, and we haven't really met in real life. Is your first name Mackenzie?
My last name is Mackenzie. My whole last name is Mackenzie Jones Smith.
Okay. All right.
Nice my mother, and she enjoyed hyphens. So if you wouldn't mind, cup your hands like this and then press on your neck. And you're looking for small balls that are the size of grapes before genetically modified grapes, like small grapes, not grapes. How does that feel?
I don't feel any non-genetically modified grapes.
Okay. Now, if you could just go and feel your belly. Do you feel anything in your belly? You would be pretty much, you'd be going like this, like when you were little, when your doctor would press in your belly, just press in your belly.
Yeah.
Do you feel anything there?
Well, I'm full, but other than that, no.
Other than that, okay. And then one last thing, if you could just put your hand on your kidney and then just thump like that.
Where's my kidney? It's sort of under the ruffle.
Yeah. Just thump. Does anything feel weird?
No. It feels pretty good. I just
Okay, good.
Do you normally do that first?
Yeah, Okay, now if you could just press your chest up against the screen. I'm just gonna check your heartbeat. Okay. All right. That kind of sounds like a computer monitor, but
okay.
Well, we'll check it again the next time. All right. So I think if for Botox, this is what we're going to do. If it's I will send you the needles, and then I will talk you through it.
I can't inject myself.
Oh, okay. Okay. I understand. Some people are quite squeamish, but, what we could do then is, you could invite a friend over who has been quarantined the same amount of time as you and have them inject you.
Oh, but you don't just cream?
I suppose we could do cream. I think, hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm just not really good at this. I don't know. I'm just gonna,
Hello? Hello? I guess she's frozen. All right. Well, send me cream. I'm back.
You're back. How? That was like weird.
Yeah, that was crazy. That doctor looks like you, Bethany.
I don't think so. She looks like she's 68.
Yeah.
Look, it looks like she didn't have her filter on, basically. I hope that was really weird, but I guess that's how you do doctor's appointments now.
Yeah, that must be the future. I don't know. I did learn that I have a kidney, so that's good.
And you have a beautiful cleavage, if I may say so.
Thank you.
I have just a flat expanse, so I'm quite.
Well, listen, if you want to eat 6 meals a day, you might catch up.
We will do that. We will. Yeah, man. I hope you get your cream. That's it. I mean, I hope you get it, but you don't need it. It's like.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what we do need though?
What do we need?
Some advice from a real doctor.
Yes.
What if we talk to a real doctor who could give us good advice about how to stay healthy and get us through these Corona times?
Let's do it. Our next guest is superhero health advocate, news correspondent, my friend, Dr. Alok Patel. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And the most impressive thing on that list is being your friend. That was the hardest thing to achieve.
Was it? Was I Virgoing you in the beginning? I'm sorry. I just
had to live up to your standard. But thank you both for inviting me to come here and chat.
Thanks for being here.
Where are you? Sorry. Where are you?
I'm in San Francisco right now, kind of juggling my time between the hospital and working as a news correspondent here and doing work in journalism.
Thank you so much for the work you do in journalism and as a correspondent in helping us really begin to try to determine viable news sources, to shut out fake news, to listen to scientists, listen to doctors. I really appreciate it. I found this story. I found this story I wanted to share with you, because I think it's got some real good information here. Maybe you haven't heard all of it, but this year went around social media, and it has a remedy for coronavirus. Have you doctors seen this? It says.
Have we seen this beautiful graphic with marijuana leaves that turned coronavirus? I don't know what that is, but. First of all, there's no way.
Warm water and vinegar, right? I mean, how easy was that?
So this is, first of all, this doesn't even make any sense. You're telling me that this pandemic, which is killing thousands and thousands of people, requiring the entire scientific community to come together, baffling people, can just be handled with salt water? And because it hangs out in the burner for days?
But let me say one thing. Before you completely delegitimize this graphic, did you notice this emoji?
Wait, where was that emoji? That was on the...
It was up top. Yeah. I feel like that gives it a lot of legitimacy.
Well, maybe the person's trying to be like, hey, listen, I'm smart and I'm skeptical and I'm analyzing. What's the one next to it? That looks like a creme brulee?
It's coffee.
Oh. So it's not creme brulee.
Think about it over your coffee. This might be true.
Okay, here's the thing.
A lot of people are doing this. A lot of people are seeing something like that, hoping it's true. They're spreading it so that we can all gargle with salt water just in case. What do you say to that? What do you say to people who buy into that? How should people be vetting their news and their news sources?
You said the word I wanted to say. The first thing people should be doing is looking at the source. If there's a random person sending you something on Twitter or Facebook or whatever social media platform you fancy, they may not be an expert. They may not be a credible source themselves. That's okay. I'm not faulting them. Right now, everybody wants answers. That's how we work as human beings. We see a problem. We don't want to know, hey, this is Mother Nature saying, hold my beer for ruining the planet. We want a solution. We want to blame something. And so I don't fault people for sending me articles and saying, is this legit? But I think what everyone needs to know is what they don't know. We need to create a smarter consumer. I don't expect every single person to look at a scientific article and understand the difference between accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, positive predictive value, negative predictive value, and look at the methods and say, this is generalizable. That's not realistic. But people should be able to see something in it. Hey, you know what? I'm not sure about this. I don't know about the source. This is clearly an identity politics post, or they're trying to sell me something. Or this is someone spitting down an echo chamber, or this is my drunk uncle. Someone should know that the source is not legit. Send it to someone who can help you out.
Yeah.
I love how you say we have to create a smarter consumer. Like, I do love that. That is a responsibility that has to be taken on, to make the people reading, the consumer, as you say, just think more critically about these things.
Absolutely. You have to know what you don't know. You know, about a month ago, there was this trend online, which was so offensive, and it was called #FilmYourHospital. And it was kind of propagated by these people who believe that the entire thing's a hoax, which is ludicrous. But people were out there and they were filming hospitals in rural settings. Some of them are community hospitals, empty hospitals. And they were like, hey, look, this is BS. Hospitals aren't packed. It's not real. And I'm like, hold on. You're telling me that this is real. You're telling me this community hospital in Kansas. And you're equating that to these hospitals in the Bronx where people are dying and doctors are getting sick. That doesn't even make any sense. But people were looking at these videos. They weren't paying any attention to where it came from, to where the hospital was that was being filmed. They looked at it and they were like, you know what? That confirms my belief. And I think that's something we need to be able to recognize. It's like identity politics, right? You're sometimes going to push aside common sense and logic because you want to side with your tribe. It's like the protests, the anti-shutdown protests, where people go there to say, like, reopen society, but they also are there talking about gun rights and with gay rights posters and saying, like, you know, we should not let people of the same sex marry. I'm like, that, what? You're just confounding everything you're angry about?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it's funny. I am in New York, and as a New Yorker, I personally resent anyone who would post a picture of a hospital in Kansas to try to prove that this pandemic isn't happening, because I know people who have died. Everyone I know knows someone who has died. A teacher at my daughter's school died. I mean, this is very, very real, and it's very personal to a lot of people. But speaking of the amount of death, I think it's sort of a sad but good segue into the next thing that we wanted to talk about, which is the mental health crisis component of this pandemic. Now, you let us know before we started filming that this is going to be the next wave of problems. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, and it already is kind of the next wave. We just aren't documenting all of it. It's almost like a hidden pandemic within the pandemic. You know, before COVID-19, experts were estimating that 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 Americans experienced a diagnosable mental illness annually. That's a lot. And these people still were, case in point, there's 3 of us here. Odds are high.
Yeah.
And so, and people were even saying that they had trouble accessing resources, talking about it freely with friends and family, feeling like there was a stigma attached to admitting it. That was before we were in this dystopian reality. Recent surveys, Kaiser Family Foundation estimated that 50% of people were experiencing some type of mental distress right now. Now, you talk about food insecurity, isolation, schools being closed, job loss, PTSD from the front line, and we have this new wave that we have to flatten that is built on stress, anxiety, depression, and all these feelings right now. Substance abuse is elevated. Alcoholism is increased. There's more reports of domestic abuse, child abuse. So whatever we do, there needs to be a ton of more awareness and acceptance to this reality. In the same way we have so much coverage about COVID-19, we're going to have to start to cover the side effects from it. And there was almost no way to avoid it. We had to do what we had to do, but there needs to be intervention points for counselors, therapists, social workers, psychiatrists, and resources for them.
That's right, because awareness is good, but it doesn't entirely solve the problem. So how do we begin to solve these problems?
Got to start breaking down the stigma, right? The stigma of mental illness. But I mean, also in terms of access, giving people care right now. What's your recommendation for that?
Policy question. So obviously, step one is breaking down the stigma, because let's say you're in a place where you can't access any resources, even knowing that your friends, your family, people around you can reach out to you, and you're treating this in the same way you would treat any other illness. That could save a life. That can really help someone out. A Zoom date, like what we're doing right now, can actually help somebody who's feeling alone, isolated, or without resources. But what we should see is more reimbursement, more resources, anything to be able to make tele-appointments with all these people who can reach out and help people. I mean, there's things online that are great. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can save a life. The Domestic Violence Hotline, 24/7 confidential. But again, if you're reporting domestic violence or child abuse, there has to be a place to take someone that's socially distanced. The Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Awareness has a hotline. There's a crisis text line where you can literally text and get live help on your phone. These little things can make a huge difference. We just need to make sure that we're scaling them up appropriately. We're paying as much attention to this as we are to everything else that needs help right now. I think there's one thing that's really humbling about this pandemic. It's almost like the pandemic shined a spotlight on all these gaps in our society and all this inequity. And it really showed us like who is alone, who has resources, who has food insecurity, who's living in a neighborhood that's unsafe to walk around in. This is a problem that's hitting people in so many different ways, and we just have to be able to acknowledge that and confront it.
And who can't get health care and who has refused health care and all that. So
Absolutely.
This is why everything what you're doing is so important. It sounds like it's definitely a two-pronged approach. One is to change the stigma of mental health so that people don't feel ashamed to reach out for help. And then once people feel comfortable reaching out for help for this medical issue, just like any other medical issue, for the support to actually be there, to be available and be effective help, like getting, like you said, someone in an abusive situation, getting them out of the home into a place that's socially distanced. And that's what I love about your Instagram and all of your social media. Follow Dr. Alok Patel on Instagram for phone numbers, for hotlines, emails, organizations that are there to help people right now, for real news. As soon as a fake news story breaks out, you're right there with the truth. So that's like two important new information channels that you offer on your Instagram. I think it's so important. Like you're really using social media to better humanity. And I'm not like blowing smoke. I really mean that. And that's
I appreciate that. This went from like comedy to a dark place to emotional feels. We're just kind of this like roller coaster right now.
That's it. Welcome to our heads.
Do I have to pay for this appointment? Because I feel better already.
Yeah.
We can pay with like the emotional support we're giving to one another.
I love it.
We're paying with this way. Listen, if people find an anti-coronavirus toothpaste or someone's trying to sell you an immune booster, feel free to DM me and I will tell you why that is probably not legit.
And you will call them out too. I love that. You'll throw it up there and call them out and be like, this is not an antimicrobial suitcase, people.
and listen, it's not just me. There fortunately are a lot more people, not just medical professionals, but a lot of people out there who are using whatever channels they have to spread good information.
Name
and just going back to one. What's that?
Name 5 people we should follow right now. Like who should we follow now for more exercising critical thinking and vetting news sources and one person.
I would say I would literally say you should go out there and follow a scientific journal.
Yes.
Follow like Nature magazine or follow the CDC and look at those headlines and start to learn the difference between how they present a headline versus how it's presented on far right or far left or vegan or meat eating things or any websites. Start to look at the difference between how headlines are kind of processed and you'll start to see what we're talking about. People want to put you into a pigeonhole.
That's
great. Not everyone.
Not everyone.
But I think we should end with pigeonhole.
Pigeonhole, man.
I don't even know what a pigeonhole is. It just felt like right.
What is a pigeonhole?
Hole that pigeons go into when they're seeking shelter.
I don't know. Listen, if you see a headline that says the effects of 5G and current research versus why 5G is causing this problem and how you should avoid cell phone towers, that's a pigeonhole.
Yeah.
That's a pigeonhole.
It's called
clickbait. That's trying to push you into this fringe echo chamber.
It's clickbait. Yeah. Just trying to get you to go down the hole to whatever antimicrobial suitcase they want you to buy.
Conspiracy theory, Alice in Wonderland.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it so much.
Thank you both for what you're doing. Awareness
Stay
and
safe
laughter.
And healthy. Thank you.
Stay healthy. Rock on, Doc. Rock, Doc. Bye.
He is a rock duck.
He is. Don't you love him?
Yes, Alok Patel, MD on Instagram, everybody.
Follow him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's great. You know, I love that we talked about mental health. I feel like it's weird because it's 2020 and people are still afraid to talk about mental health.
Yeah, he makes it, definitely follow him on Instagram. He makes it, he normalizes it. I hate that word though, normalizes it like there was actually something wrong with it before, but
yeah,
so important to talk about and to.
That part when he laughed in the interview, by the way, you couldn't see Bethany and I when he said 1 in 4 people suffer from mental illness. We were like,
Hi, I'm Bethany. I'm mental illness. So much fun.
So yeah, normalize it. Talk about it.
It's fun. I'm really happy you talked about it. You know what I wish he talked about? I wish he talked about masks because, right?
Seriously, like it's honestly, it's driving me insane that people refuse to wear them. And I don't know why.
It's crazy. Like at first there was like this mixed message, but then now the message is loud and clear. Wear a freaking mask. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's happening in your neighborhood, but over here, there's people like walking around with their like naked, dirty faces all over the place. Like they don't get the part that it's not about you. It's about us.
That's what Cuomo says. See, if you're in New York State, you should know better because Cuomo's getting on TV every day going, if I see you in the grocery store, not wearing a mask, right? It's serious. Like, why do people think that they're the exception?
I have no idea. I don't know. You know what we should do?
I know what we should do. Let's ask
Shalewa. Whoa, I like that.
Yeah.
It's like you were sitting sideways and you have some kind of pivot.
Did you guys call me for something?
Yes, we need you. We need your wisdom.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll see how much of that I have left.
Well, first of all, you look great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I invested in gloss just before all of this happened. And
aren't you glad?
Yeah, I guess so. I was getting ready to get into eyeshadows, which I probably should have because now with the mask, no one can see how much money I spent on a Fenty lip balm. But here we are.
I did the first time I went out with a mask. I put gloss on first because I forgot.
Yeah, you forget.
Did it just stick?
Yeah.
So that could be one reason why people aren't wearing masks because they just spent $20 on a lip gloss because Rihanna makes it.
Yeah.
Rihanna needs to wear a mask then. Like she needs to wear a mask and then put Fenty lip
something over it.
Yeah. Outside.
I don't know how safe masks made of glitter are.
I have seen them. Yeah. Totally. I wish I had one right now.
But yeah, that could be one reason why people aren't wearing masks. I think the fashion aspect of it.
It's just it messes with their look.
Their whole aesthetic. Yeah, whatever their aesthetic happens to be, I think perhaps a mask throws a monkey wrench in it. Which is, this is a time of adjustment. We all have to adjust.
So people.
Go ahead, Bethany.
No, you. Sorry.
I was just going to say my kid is 14 and she has figured out how to work the mask into the look. Oh. She's in a floral phase, right?
Right.
Mask, floral. Then there's a floral accoutrement.
Right. But she's young and she's, her brain is still soft. Yeah. We're trying to get people whose brains have hardened. We're trying to get them in masks. And a lot of them are like, they feel like they can't breathe. You can
breathe.
There are too many people who are out here talking about how they enjoyed being choked during sex.
Right. So
y'all can handle a mask. Y'all can handle a mask.
Right. choke walking down the street to keep other people safe.
Yeah, it feels like, to me, it feels like a security blanket. But I already like a turtleneck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was already halfway there. Just pull it up all the way. But yeah, I think that's it. Some people, they think they're invincible. So they aren't wearing masks. To which I say, you should have escaped when you could. You should have taken your invincibility to a small town.
Yes.
But if you're in a big city, you don't count. So just put a mask on. You don't count. What are you doing? You're not special.
It's the lack of empathy that really just pisses me off. Like
it's very annoying.
Sorry that empathy doesn't go with your outfit, but
right.
Put it on.
Put it on.
Put it on.
I'm noticing in my neighborhood that there are some people who are wearing masks. Mostly in my surrounding neighborhood, the larger scope. Someone must have said that you transmit it through your chin, because that's where all the masks are. They're all, if you transmit the Rona through your chin, then my neighborhood is set. We are strapped up. Nothing's getting through here.
I like the dangling of the ear.
Yeah.
Most of the ear. Like I got a text. I can't text with my face covered.
Right, exactly. It's the only way I can think is to have it dangling. It's like having the tag still on your shoe or whatever. I guess it's like a status thing to not put it on all the way. You know how people have one sleeve out of their shirt. I don't know. There's a lot fashion-wise that needs to be reckoned with. And we got to start with these masks. But I do know
why more women aren't taking the opportunity to like show their scarves, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can still have your boobies out and have a mask on.
Yeah, I've been like showcasing my whole scarf collection, just like Deborah Burke's,
I got masked because I didn't want to unleash my scarves out there to whatever is out there. To me,
you don't want the coronavirus touching your stuff.
Yeah, I don't want. To me, I've made the coronavirus a physical thing, and he looks a lot like those goons in the Looney Tune cartoons, the big orange, where they're all shoulder and then they go down into a point. And they have the little eyes. That's what coronavirus looks like. And then sometimes he has like a baseball bat, and then sometimes he's just touching your scarves. But yeah, I mean, in my neighborhood, usually the people wearing them are older people running errands. I like that, absolutely. And then a group that I affectionately call the Doughboys. They're your dope dealer ships, your dope dealermen. Entrepreneurs. They've got their particular corners where they're stationed, and they more often than not are wearing masks.
Essential workers.
Responsible, yeah.
Very essential.
Responsible. They're not trying to tank their business.
No. They also need to put food on the table for their many meals, I'm assuming. So, they have a reason to get up and get dressed and put a mask on and, do their business. So it's nice to see.
I have to say, if my grandmother was alive, she'd be walking around with a check like that, like just smacking everybody in the head. And that's what I think some old Puerto Rican grandmother needs to do right now. Just go around and smack. Mira!
That is necessary. My mom, if she was alive, she would be making masks for sure. And I don't think I'd like the print of them, but she would force them on me anyway, even though it's not my aesthetic. And I'm like, can't you make a plain one? And she's like, Shalewa, why don't you ever wear things with a little something? This was a lifelong argument.
I had that argument, I remember.
Yeah.
Just put some lipstick on. Are you gonna go out like that? Why?
Exactly.
That? I'm like, all right. And then I did put lipstick on and I go danced. And then she's like, you could take it off now.
Yeah. So, outside of letting our mothers down, we're still wearing masks.
Yes.
There's always that.
Thank you, Shalewa.
I'm always here to help.
All right. Thank you for your wisdom. And now I feel calmer, don't you?
Yes.
She was like.
Shalewa was dipping out. Bethany froze. This is a beautiful position to freeze in. Oh, there you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's the bottom line. Bottom line is, it's not about you wear your mask. It's about keeping other people safe, because you may not think you have it. You may not care if you get it and you die, but you don't know what's happening in anybody else's family, right? Like, every person walking around out there is living a completely different reality. So you do it for them.
Yeah. Did we freeze again?
Did not freeze.
Jamie, are you with us? There we go.
Yay.
Our next guest is a director, a producer, an artist, and the author of the children's book, Isla and Lulu. Plus, she's also my friend from college. Give it up for Noelle Gentile.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So glad to see you. Guys, we're all in blue sweaters.
Ta-da.
Yes.
I think we're like on some kind of wavelength. You're right.
I love it. So, Noelle, great to see you. I love that it took a pandemic for us to get together.
So good to see you. So good to see you both.
And you just met Bethany Van Delft.
Yes, who I'm a big fan of. So this was really awesome to be able
Oh my gosh. You stop it, and we both have Lulus. I cannot believe this. Your daughter is Lucia or Lucia?
Lucia.
Mine is Lucia too.
Awesome.
Like, and the poster in the background.
I saw that. Love it.
Yes, that was a movie poster I saw in a Tide advertisement when she was a baby, and I was like, "What is that?" Like, trying to see into the ad. Can't find a similar one for Nico. It's just Steven Seagal with an automatic weapon, so we can't. Nico will not get his own movie poster. But I read your book, Isla and Lulu, and not because I have a Lulu as well, but it's just such a beautifully told story from the perspective of a younger sibling of a child with developmental disability, which we have. That would be Nico for us. And I really have never, I don't know how we're going to broach that topic when it comes up. I just keep waiting, like, in prepared mode for when it does come up. And I feel like that book is such a gift and a beautiful resource for our family to have. It's so, so beautiful. And the message of inclusion.
Do you have the book? Can you show everybody the cover? There it is.
So the message of inclusion is so important for our families, our kids, their classmates, extended family. I feel like there's such a message for all of us now, what we're living through now, about being inclusive, about people's fears and beliefs and resistance to information or, what. So thank you. I guess I'll stop blathering on so you can say something, but thank you for that book. It's just so beautiful.
That really means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. And, when I first wrote the book, Isla, we were going through a period of time where Isla was having prolonged seizures and a lot of them. And we went to her neurologist, and she said he said we were in dangerous territory for SUDEP, which is sudden unexpected death in a person with epilepsy. And so you can imagine that's a lot of trauma for a family to take in. And Isla's little sister Lulu was also experiencing these seizures and witnessing Isla stop breathing and all that stuff, and 20 firefighters coming in and first responders coming into our house, and and Isla was experiencing being in the hospital and all this. And so we needed something to process together, so initially I wrote the book for us to process this experience that we were living through and living in this way that felt like death was kind of really something we were having to meditate on as a family. And so that was initially my purpose to write the book. And also, you know, sometimes when your family is going through an experience that's different, people don't know how to talk about it with you. And sometimes when people don't know how to talk about things, they stay away. And so I wanted to open the door for people to come towards us, not to go away from us. And as the book got out there and I started like thinking about, you know, more things like the page with the friends and like the point about inclusion are like the most important to us as a family. And just tell you a really quick story. A couple of summers ago, we were at the Cape and we were swimming in one of the ponds. And oftentimes when kids come up to play with my girls, they'll gravitate towards Lucia, because she plays in a way that feels similar to them. And so when children come up to Isla, I kind of brace myself for this. They might come over, talk to her for a minute, and then go away. And it's really painful. And so these two girls came up and they started talking with Isla, and they continued to play with her for like 30 minutes. And other than our close community, that was the first time something like that had happened. And I stood there with tears, you know, going down my face, and later had a conversation with the mom. And it turns out her daughter has a best friend who has diverse abilities, who's medically fragile. She's in a class where it's an inclusion classroom. And all of a sudden I'm like, right, this shouldn't be some different thing, right? This shouldn't be some amazing experience where I'm crying. This should just be typical, right? That like Isla is included. And the reason that this girl did that so beautifully was because she had experience with inclusion. So that's part of our message as well, is so that families can have conversations. You know, it's really important. I think sometimes we feel like we can't talk about hard things with our young children, like racism and, you know, homophobia and things that people are experiencing in the world, but our children are capable. It's just that we as adults have to do the work to have those conversations. And the hope is that the book, in the back, there's a section that a friend worked on, who's an advocate. Her name is Loretta Longo. That's really amazing about autism and being friends with someone who's autistic.
Right,
and
I love it.
Yeah, and seizures. And so it's for the adults to be able to be a little less afraid to have brave conversations.
It is so important what you're talking about, inclusion. Our Lulu goes to the Henderson Inclusion School, which is a school in the Boston public school system that's fully inclusive. 900 students at the upper campus, 150 students at the lower campus. And there are no special ed classrooms, no sub-separate classrooms. Every child is in the classroom together. And the way they support that is there are 2 fully certified teachers in every classroom, and then however many paraprofessionals are needed. So Lulu has been in a class before where my daughter, Lulu, has Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. I don't think I said that earlier, but Lulu has been in a classroom with 6 adults at one time. So a general education teacher, a special education teacher, but both teachers teach all the children. Mm-hmm. And then paraprofessionals. She was in a classroom one time, and this is a similar story. And I also think the Cape is magical because we've had that experience on the Cape as well, where I'm terrified that someone will walk up to Lulu, look at her face because she has a visible disability as well, and then just walk away. But so many times on the Cape, people just walk up and start playing with Lulu. So I think maybe that's where our tribe is. But Lulu had a student in her classroom with a visual disability, and he had a one-to-one who was a para in the classroom, but the student's personal one-to-one. And all lessons were adapted for every student. So they were making masks around the time of Halloween. And this one student's lesson, his project was adapted tactilely. So he's making the same mask as all the other students, but his materials are tactile. And so many of the students gravitated to where he and his para were sitting and said, I want to make a mask with him. And they themselves put blindfolds on and then made the mask the same way he was making it. Like they felt the pieces and then glued it. They felt for the glue and glued it together. And that time I started bawling my eyes out because
it isn't irregular to the children attending this school. They're going to grow up and everyone is going to be the same, and everyone is going to have their way that they perform the best when you teach them and talk to them. You know, it was just, we fought so hard to get her into that school, but that moment was the moment where I just was like, this shouldn't be, I shouldn't be crying over this. This should be the way it is across the board. Every school should be this way. Everyone should be accepted. You know, I have to be spoken to a very particular way. I'm a Virgo. Like, you can't just like willy-nilly make stuff up. You've got to talk to me in facts or I can't hear you. So I think it's the same.
What you just said, first of all, how beautiful that she's at that school. And then the other piece that's like so important that we want people to understand is that when you're friends with Isla, it's not just that you're giving her a gift, it's that she's giving you a gift too, right? Yes. So all of those children at that school, regardless of what their ability or needs are, like, they're all getting that gift by being together. And imagine if every school was like that.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Yes.
That is
and
beautiful.
I always look at those kids and go, these are our leaders of the future.
Yeah.
So hang tight. These kids are going to grow up. They're going to make laws. They're going to run hospitals. They're going to put the research out. So hang tight. These kids are coming.
I love that you talk about that in the book too, Noelle, this concept of Isla being a teacher for people. Isla, her friendship being a gift for people, you know. I think it's interesting also that you guys both have 2 kids, right? And the book is also about being a sibling to a child who has special needs and what that bond is and what the love is. Do you want to talk about that briefly? And then Noelle, maybe we could talk about your other daughter, Lulu.
Yes, totally. I was writing this post because I don't know, you know, Bethany, what you're witnessing at home, but like part of what I'm witnessing in this, like, sort of, it's just our little family, is this evolving relationship between my girls.
Yes. I read that post, and again, I choked up like on the phone going, that's what's happening. They're becoming, they always had their own world, but the world is solidifying to a way, in a degree, like I'm speechless, because that's what we hoped when Nico was born, that he would be, you know, selfishly her protector, but they are just, it's incredible. It's incredible. Your post, I'm going to start crying, so I'm just going to stop. But yes, your post was like, yes, that's what's happening.
It's like
their friendship.
Yeah, these layers, and like, you know, we have these amazing therapists who come to our home who we miss for sure, but there's more space for Isla and Lulu to find each other in different ways and develop friendship in different ways. And I just was like reflecting on it and thinking about, Lulu isn't Lulu without Isla, and Isla isn't Isla without Lulu. Like, their journeys are so imprinted on each other in this really beautiful way.
That's amazing. I think we should share with the people that Lulu is a bit of a singer. One might say she is a burgeoning Broadway star, and she recently had some viral fame on the internet. I'm going to show everybody the video really quickly. Let's see if this works. Here we go. Here's little Lulu singing her heart out.
No, I don't want no scrubs. Scrubs got get no love from me. Hanging on the plastic style, best friends right. Try to holler at me. No, I don't want no scrubs. Scrubs got get no love from me. Hanging on the passenger side, best friends right. Try, yeah, to holler at me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's amazing. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
Incredible.
Well, how did this happen? How did she even learn the song Scrubs? Where is this passion coming from in her soul?
Well, we just love that song. So that's how she actually sang that song like when she was 2, I think. So I have versions of her singing it when she's much younger. I just want to say that I'm thankful that my shower was as clean as it was when we filmed that, because I had no idea that many people would be seeing our bathroom.
Yeah.
And we just like love to sing and be silly. If I brought Lulu in here right now, she would never do that in front of an audience. That's just totally, that's what it is when it's just us. But I shared it like a year ago, and all my accounts had been on private, and I shared it again when the pandemic started, just for friends and family. But this time I made it public.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I'm watching the views on it go up, and I'm like, oh, is this how something goes viral? It just sort of slowly started to happen. And someone reached out to me on Facebook who knew Chili and asked me to make my Instagram public. And then Chili commented on my post. And for me, that was enough. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's truly amazing.
And then she shared it, and Lulu was so excited. And that was what Lulu was most excited about, was when Chili shared it, because she loves her. And she talks about how powerful she is. And a funny story, I used to work at Union Square, and I waited on Chili one time when she came into the restaurant. I haven't told her that, but in like our exchanges, but it seems so funny that 21-year-old me or 22-year-old me, and now here we are all these years later, and Lucia's, she's offering to babysit Lucia.
That should be a reality show. Yes. Like, that should, Bravo should pick that up. Chili babysits Lulu.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And then
all these other famous celebrities now have retweeted it.
Yes. Well, I am Zoe did this amazing remake of it, which I don't know if you watch his videos, but it's just like
I saw it, and it's so funny. It's really hilarious.
So amazing. And then Janet Jackson shared that on Instagram, and again, like I literally felt like I was going to faint. Oh wow. And so Lulu was seeing how excited we were getting, and she's like, Mom, why don't you make a cute, funny video so that people can like, first of all, my child doesn't know that I attempted to act for a long time in New York City. And second of all, I don't think I could ever get that reaction.
It's harder for grown-ups.
Yeah.
Every time Nico is like, I can't wait to be an adult, I'm like, embrace this, kid.
Yeah.
Embrace this.
Enjoy this.
Yeah. Don't work on your L's. Just keep saying wabbit. Like, just stick with this for a while. Stick with this.
The other funny thing that happened was when it was on the Today Show, and little kid, she has no concept like of viral. She just knows like people are watching it and they think it's fun and funny. And but when it went on the Today Show, Nate and I were showing her the video on my phone, and she's like, can you pause that? I need to go get some cheese puffs.
Smart. She has priorities.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, you guys, I think this was an awesome Blue Sweater session.
This was awesome.
I love it. It was so nice to meet you and to hang.
Nice to meet you. This was awesome.
Great.
We're going to have to get the Blues together on the Cape.
I would love that. That would be awesome. Thank you for making me feel a little funny. I've been told my whole life I'm not funny. So
you are very funny. Everybody's funny. It's just, do you let it out? That's all.
True. Totally.
Everyone's funny, and you have so much joy about you. So you're funny. Don't listen to those scrubs. You got it right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy who can't get no love from me. Hanging on the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me.
No, damn girl, you got pipes.
Yeah, try it.
Who was that? She was like,
she felt the passion of every woman who's ever been scorned.
She is so Adorable. Wait, what do you say we keep the party going?
Yes.
For the performance by musical director Nick Chambers.
Woo!
Hey, what's up, everybody? I guess I was hesitating because I didn't want to follow that amazing singing child. Uh, but I think we covered a lot of important topics tonight, and I think one thing that we need to make time for is love. Everyone's busy, trying to stay healthy and safe, but it's important to make time for love. So I've written a love song that for all you couples out there, you have the entire duration, just shut out everything else, listen to these smooth tones, and do what you do. The song's 4 minutes, so get it in. Oh, 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 oh. La 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 la. La la la, this is a song for the lovers. I got something that I want to say. It's been on my mind now. You got me thinking about it every day. Seems like the right time now. I know you wanna get it. I know you fantasize. Baby, it's your moment. Don't let it pass you by. So just sit back and turn off the light. I think they should remake the movie Meteor Man. This is a song for the lovers, lovers, lovers. This here is one for the lovers, lovers. Now you're sipping on some pineapple wine, holding you tight by the fire. What if I told you we could travel through time, anywhere you desire? But we going back to 93, so baby you can see the most incredible film of all time, Meteor Man. So Robert Townsend plays Jefferson Reed, a regular guy who gets hit by a meteor and develops superpowers. Honestly, it's one of the best films Don Cheadle has ever been in. This is one for the lovers, lovers, lovers. This is one for the lovers, lovers. So Meteor Man came out in 1993. So that's a whole bunch of years in between then and now. And I just think that the advancements in technology, the special effects and the graphics that they'd be able to do in this reboot would be phenomenal, right? And also, like, we don't have a lot of black superheroes. Like, for a while there, all we had was like Blade and Steel and Falcon to call on. There's nothing wrong with adding a couple more to the roster. There's nothing wrong with that at all, I think. Also, Robert Townsend has a daughter in real life who could play his daughter in the film. You could reboot the whole thing from a female perspective. You could bring in a brand new cast, or you could bring back some of the old cast members too. You could bring back like Sinbad and Eddie Griffin and James Earl Jones or Robert Guillaume or Marla Gibbs. If they're still alive, we'll have to check up on them when we go back outside. But that won't stop me from rocking your body. And when I say rock, I am of course referring to the meteor, which made him the Meteor Man. Like, how have you not seen this film already? I don't understand. This is one for the lover. It is one for the lover. I need your help with this, okay? I need y'all to help me out. I want y'all to sing with me, okay? Help me out. Sing. Say, lovers, 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 lovers. Hey, hey. This is a song lovers. Ooh, 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 ooh. Thank you.
Yes. Love. I was singing along with it. That was amazing. That made me feel lovery, didn't it?
Yeah.
Feel that that
I love that song, and I hope your movie gets made.
Robert,
Nick,
come on, man.
What's
the hold up? Just do it.
I know he's watching. He was like, that dude's singing this song to me. I'm a lover, and I'm gonna.
Speaking of everyone watching, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight.
Yes, thank you to Nick Chambers, Shalewa Sharpe, Once Ballroom Virtual Venue. Thank you so much. And
thank you to Noelle Gentile. Thank you to Dr. Alok Patel. Thank you, Bethany Van Delft.
Thank you, Carolyn Castiglia.
Hey. Good night.
Grazie, molto grazie. Ciao. Bye. Ciao.